Before we go any further in the training, I want to slow us down and orient how we're approaching breath work. What we're doing here is not collecting a variety of techniques. We're learning how breath reorganizes the system and how to work with that responsibly. Everything in this training rests on a few core ideas, and if these land, then the rest of the work becomes much more simple. Breath is one of humanity's oldest tools for altering state and perception. Long before modern psychology or neuroscience, cultures across the world understood that changing the breath changes how we experience reality, physically, emotionally, perceptually. Yogic traditions have worked with the breath to prepare the body and mind for meditation, awakening, raising consciousness. Indigenous and shamanic traditions use breath with rhythm, sound, and ceremony to enter trance states, release emotion, mark initiation. Modern breathwork systems use similar patterns to support healing, resilience, and expanded awareness. The language and the context are different, but the function is shared. This leads to an important distinction I want you to hold throughout this training. Different traditions use different language, but similar physiological levers: rhythm, depth, retention, attention. We're not collapsing traditions or flattening lineages here. We're learning to recognize shared mechanisms so we can facilitate with clarity rather than mythology. Understanding how breath works allows us to respect the depth of these traditions without needing to borrow belief systems or exaggerate client experience. Breath directly influences the heart-lung-brain axis. Every breath changes gas exchange in the lungs, circulation through the heart, and signaling in the nervous system. Those changes shape emotional state, perception, cognitive clarity, and because of this, breath is one of the most direct ways to influence state without forcing the mind. We don't have to analyze experience or push insight. We can work directly with physiology and allow perception to reorganize from within. One piece of this that I want you to really take in early is the role of carbon dioxide. CO2 levels strongly shape sensation, blood flow, and consciousness. When breathing becomes faster or deeper, CO2 levels drop. That shift can create sensations like tingling, lightheadedness, emotional intensity, visual brightness. These experiences are not mysterious. They are the result of changes in blood chemistry and circulation, especially in the brain. This doesn't make them bad. It makes them understandable. When you understand what's happening, you don't need to dramatize sensation or suppress it. You can respond calmly and appropriately. Breath is also unique because it's the only system in the body that is both automatic and consciously accessible. It's regulated by the brainstem, and it can also be influenced by conscious attention and intention. This is why breath is such a powerful entry point into somatic and trauma-informed work. We can influence the nervous system from inside without forcing cognition, narrative, or emotional processing. But that power comes with responsibility. Facilitation is not about applying techniques. It's about understanding cause and effect. When you understand how breath affects physiology and the nervous system, you don't need to push, chase, perform, trying to reach peak sensations and insights. You can sense when to slow down, when to ground, and when to allow the system to self-regulate. This brings me to one of the most important principles in the entire training. Sensation is information, not proof of progress. Tingling, emotion, heat, or visual changes simply tell us that the system has shifted. They don't tell us whether something has integrated. Intensity is not depth. Sensation is not healing. In this work, we don't measure success by how dramatic it feels. We measure it by regulation, coherence, and integration over time. So rather than trying to do breath work, we're learning something much more subtle. We're learning to allow the breath to become us. And as facilitators, we guide others with clarity, restraint, and care, grounded in understanding rather than performance.